Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Giant Conversation. This Topic Talks. I'm your host, Aaron Klingsmith, and today we've got a busy show for you. We're going to talk about a kid who was rejected, who was rejected and gets surprised with a date to homecoming. We'll also talk about a girl who was denied access, or two girls that were denied access to a flight because of what they were wearing. Then we're going to skip Mark's multiverse because Mark is not here today. He's skipping out, going to Green Day, so that'll be fun for him. So we're going to hit on into Movie Madness Monday, where we're going to talk about, yet again, another Spider-Man movie. Or is it? Then Mark Hamill is going to reprise his role in Star Wars. Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in a Dr. Dolittle movie. That's kind of weird. And we're going to see what's leaving Netflix, and I'm going to be very irritated. All right here on Topic Talks. Welcome to Topic Talks, where we talk about the topics you care about and leave out the ones you don't.
We talk about what most news sources don't. Media, movies, and the multiverse.
We even invite guests to come talk topics with us.
Come join in on the fun.
Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm Aaron Klingsmith, and like I said, Mark is off today. He is at Green Day, so our best wishes are with him, and hope he has fun. Today with me is Lucas. How you doing, Lucas?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing pretty good.
Yep. So Lucas is back again. He didn't get enough last week, so he's back again this week.
Not enough.
So our first story, because I just want to jump right into it. Our first story was one that it melted my heart a little bit. You were watching the video earlier about it.
I was watching is an interesting take on it. I was across from you, and I was just that's great.
You were listening.
I was listening.
Anyway, so there was this 17-year-old boy named Daniel, and he has Down syndrome, and all he wanted was a date for homecoming, and all the girls he asked said no, and so he was kind of put down and didn't think he was going to be able to get a dance or a date. I'm sorry, and that is until Kylie, a 10th grader, stepped up and decided to do something about it. So she, according to the pictures that I saw, I didn't really tell how she did it, but she went about and asked him to homecoming. And it was pretty cool. It made his mom really happy. I think she used like a sign and did something kind of special about that.
Yeah. But
the story, the bulk of the story isn't really that. I mean, that's the thing that sparked all this. The cool part is there was a TV station that caught wind of what was going on, and they decided they wanted to help out and send out what they call their surprise squad. This is where I get kind of jealous.
Okay. Why are you jealous?
I'm jealous because they got a free ride in a Rolls Royce.
Okay, fair enough. That's it. That's it right there. If I could just get a ride in a Rolls Royce, I am a broken down Ford kind of person for the rest of my life, most likely.
So, anyway, this the surprise squad got them a Rolls Royce to go to homecoming in, and then the Rolls Royce took them to a casino for dinner, where the chef told them to order whatever they want. Doesn't matter if it's on the menu or not, he'll make it. Really.
Anything that they want.
Anything that they want.
That's insane.
It is insane. So you got that going on. And it was kind of funny because I was like, why is his mom there? His mom was there the entire time. Like, she went out to dinner with him. She rode the Rolls Royce with him. I'm assuming it's because he has Down syndrome, and if anything were to happen, she needed to be right there.
Yeah, calm him down or something.
But I thought it was kind of funny. So but Kylie was really, she was super excited when the Rolls Royce pulled up. Mm-hmm. She was super excited at dinner. And then they get to the actual homecoming dance. And now, mind you, the surprise squad is following around everywhere.
So, you got a camera
and a host.
And a host at a high school prom. That's not a good combination. There are things that happen at prom that shouldn't be seen by the local public.
So, and the cool part is, so at homecoming, because they've already gotten a Rolls Royce and free dinner.
Yeah.
And it was whatever they wanted. Now, they unveiled that they're giving Kaylee a car.
Nice.
She's a 10th grader and she got a car.
Mind you, this is not like a 2006 Fiesta. It's
No, it was like a brand new. I'm pretty sure it was like a Toyota or a Mazda.
It's something that will eventually stop when she's trying to go, or won't stop when she's trying to go downhill. So, I mean, that's...
I don't know about that. Anyway.
50-50.
So, they revealed that. And then, because they didn't stop there. At this point, I was getting tired of all the gifts. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I want to be this kid. And so, they also revealed that, because she got a car... and Daniel wants to go to school to become a chef. And his mom intends to do whatever she can to make sure he at least attempts as hard as he can to pass school to be a chef. So he got a, let me see if I can find it. I think it was there it is, a $10,000 scholarship. $10,000 just handed to him for a scholarship.
That, for those of you who are wondering how much that is, as equal to half a semester at the University of Michigan.
Yes. But that would pay for almost all of Specs.
Almost all of Specs Howard, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be about 600 and...
About 6,000 short.
Oh, yeah, 6,000 short. Yeah. So, but anyway, no, so he's handed... I mean, that's still a lot of money. I mean, for school...
It's a ton.
But it's still a lot of money. And especially if he's going into like a specialized program. Like I said, Specs is, he'd be 6,000, about 6,000 short. If he goes into a culinary school that's about the same, if it's got a tuition like that.
Yeah. If it's strictly a culinary school and he doesn't try to do anything like fancy, like get a bachelor's degree and then get like culinary science.
Right. So after all this, I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I think it's Kylie or Kaylee. Kaylee said from the beginning that I don't think of kids that have disabilities, or I don't think of kids that have the disabilities. I don't think of them as being different.
I mean, she didn't see the disability.
Right.
She doesn't think about the kid. She didn't see the disability.
She doesn't see the disability. She just sees that, or she doesn't see that it affects them. She just sees that, or let it define them. She just knows that they may need a little bit more help in school. Is what she said. And then she said she hopes she can make it a fun night for him. And Daniel's mother was like crying through almost the entire video. And she says it's not about that Daniel has a disability. It's Kaylee didn't see any disability. That is your heart. That is what your heart wants as mom. Man, I cannot read today.
It's okay.
Oh.
It is not the first time you've done this to yourself.
This illness is kicking my butt, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. No, I thought this was a great story.
I like it, but with a lot of stuff like this, I have a little bit of apprehension. Not because I'm upset of seeing someone do good deeds, but to the extent that people celebrate it.
Right.
Almost. Like, should the girl have gotten, like more than a pat on the back? Sure. Because taking someone who has a mental illness, or not mental illness, but who is mentally deficient in some way, to a prom or to a dance or something like that, that's not an easy thing to do.
Right.
As far as socially or, for you as a person, especially as a 10th grader. She's a sophomore in high school.
Right.
So it's a tough thing, but does she deserve a car? I don't think so. That kind of stuff for me is the issue. It's like a good deed should go rewarded, obviously, but there is a level to where it just kind of gets a little silly, regardless of how nice of a person they are.
Right.
Like this kid, like there's another story. This kid helped this one family in Houston. They were like getting shot at or something, and the city of Houston, it was an Indian American family who was shot last month trying to protect two Indian men who were targeted in a suspected hate crime. Right.
Right.
He got $100,000 from the Indian House Houston, which is a nonprofit organization in
Right.
Houston. $100,000 for getting shot at, that's deserved, in my opinion.
Right.
But that's me. I might have a few different opinions than most people about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and see, I think something like this should go, every once in a while it should get blown way out of proportion and, get all this cool stuff. Because it was very nice of her. She didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And for all we know, because we don't know too much, for all we know, she could actually like this kid. I mean, that is a thing.
It's possible, but at the same time.
Right.
It's for me. It's always for me is like, we don't know enough, and that's part of the issue.
Right.
So it's like just seeing it at the base level, it's like this seems a little out in left field in some cases.
Right. Well, and like I said, whether she volunteered because she felt bad for him,
yeah,
or whether she has a crush on him and this was her way to show it, either way, it was something cool that she did.
Yeah.
I think it was great that this TV station stepped up and kind of did the things that they did. Yes, it may have been a little bit overboard. Because, okay, yeah, cool, a car. Because that Mazda could probably write that off as a donation and get some tax exemptions, things like that.
Well, a one car is not going to make Mazda's year.
So. Right. So, a car, cool. In high school, that's a big thing. And the scholarship, cool.
It's a big thing.
But, I mean, a Rolls Royce, like a limo would have been like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
But a Rolls Royce.
Oh, it's different. If they had said you get to keep the Rolls Royce once the night's over, I've been like, okay.
No.
Yeah, that's a very expensive car.
Right.
And she's a sophomore in high school.
Right.
I don't know if she can legally drive the thing yet. So.
Right. No, anyway, I think it's a great story. I thought it was awesome, but it was like surprise after surprise after surprise after surprise.
I need a moment from my heart.
Even you were like, "Oh my god, more!" Like,
yeah, well, mine was a little bit different reason for. Oh my gosh, why is there more?
Right, but I mean, I was saying that I'm like,
yeah,
this is a lot.
That's a ton.
And but like I said, we don't know the full story, and. It's kind of like this surprise squad is something that the station does.
Yeah.
So that's a promotion that they do. They probably gathered up all this stuff just because they could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they probably don't do it that often, so when they do it, they go big or go home.
Yeah,
you mean?
Can't do that every Monday night.
Right. Well, they don't do it every week either.
No.
So they probably maybe do it once a month or once a year.
Yep.
So... Like I said, I thought it was a great story. Daniel seemed like a great kid from the videos that we saw.
Yeah.
And you could tell he had a little bit of Down syndrome. He was excited. He'd smile a lot.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't, show actual excitement like a lot of people.
He wouldn't emote. No.
Right. They actually did a little bit more than that. I watched past the video. There were some clips of some one other thing. They gave him a basket with some Avengers stuff in it because he liked the Avengers a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's cool, But he wasn't really excited and jumping around like a lot of kids would be. Or like a lot of guys would be. So you could definitely tell it was there. But you could also tell that he had a great heart. He seemed like a great kid.
Yeah.
And...
I've never met someone with Down syndrome that was a jerk.
Right.
That's the thing.
I think it's impossible.
I take that back. There was one when I was in high school. It's not like a mean story, by the way. When I was in high school, the football coach would always have someone who was special needs or something, have a couple guys that would be the team managers, which means they help the trainer, get water, help in any way they can.
Right.
But there was one guy that everyone was pretty cool with, and he was a nice guy. Turned up being kind of a jerk because they were messing with him one day. This is fun, right?
Right.
And he's like, hey, be careful. The guys are like, hey, be careful. We might beat you up. He's like, you can't beat me up. I'm special. I'm just like, no. Why?
No. Actually, some of the nicest people I've ever met have been people with disabilities like I'm trying to think of what it's called now. Down syndrome,
Yep.
and other forms. Is Down syndrome actually a
It's
form
on
of
the
autism?
It's on the autism spectrum. Yeah.
Okay. And there's a kid in my school. His name was Paul.
Yeah.
Everybody in the school knew Paul. He was a great kid. And one of the things that I found very fascinating about him is he
Yeah.
loved to read the dictionary.
Oh, really?
Just-
Did he use like big words and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he could use really big words. He could tell you a year later what he read last year in that dictionary.
Oh, so he was a savant.
He pretty much obtained everything he knew, or everything
Okay.
he read. Almost like a photographic memory.
So he's Rain Man, but with words.
Right.
Sweet.
And I mean, you could tell that there was some autism there or something.
Yeah.
And he tried very hard to be social.
Yeah.
And you could tell there was a little bit of, he didn't know what was socially acceptable, so he had some social stuff going on.
It sounds
too.
like he has Asperger's.
I don't think it was. I think it was something more than that.
Okay.
Because I've known a few people with Asperger's.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're really smart like that, but there was a little bit something
Something
a
else,
little
a
bit
little bit more.
right.
Okay.
A little bit more about Paul, but he was an awesome kid. I
Yeah.
mean, he wanted to go to he went to the school thing that we had called Skill Center.
Yep.
Were you around, or
No.
do you know of it?
I think I think we had something similar.
Right. It used to be like automotive and welding and things like that, and they've branched
Okay.
out to like nursing and veterinary science
Yeah, we
and
had.
things like that.
Yeah, we had. There was classes that you could take at OTC,
Right.
Oakland Technical Center.
Right.
Um.
It was a technical center is what it was.
Yeah.
And
Kids
every
would go.
every day you had several sessions, and every day you would get on a bus or take your car and drive over to Skill Center
Exactly. Yep.
and take this class, and it would count for so many. I actually graduated with more credits than I needed.
Because of the
Because-
skill center.
Well, yeah, when I took because the first year you can only take it as either a junior or senior.
Okay.
So you've only got juniors and seniors in there, no freshmen or sophomores, and there's usually only 1 year programs. There's a couple 2 year, like the forensic science
Mhm.
program. They had a 1 and a 2.
Yep.
But then like you had the Homeland Security. Yeah, they had a Homeland Security class, and that was only a one year class. So you took
Mhm.
that one, and then most of the time after that, they recommended you take the first forensic science class because that covered everything.
Yep.
And nowadays, police need to know how to recover evidence and things like that because you don't have,
Mm-hmm.
really crime scene investigators. You have the police doing it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
like in Oakland County, there's only 3 forensic investigators in the entire county,
oh right,
and that's a huge area to cover with just 3 people.
right, and so that's why they train the cops to, collect evidence properly and things like that. So then they can kind of do the important stuff, the analysis, things like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he was going there for veterinary science,
Uh-huh.
and he seemed to be doing really well. I mean, like I said, he was a smart kid, and it was just, he had a little bit of social, I don't want to say problems, he was socially awkward just a little bit.
Yeah.
But he got along with everyone. That's what I loved about him is everybody knew who he was. Nobody messed with the kid. Like, there were several people that said, listen, if you mess with this kid, I will mess with you.
Yeah.
And they were guys probably about your size.
Oh yeah.
And it was just great. He was kind of brought the school together as a whole. And so that's why I have a lot of respect for people with Asperger's, autism, any form of autism actually.
Yeah.
Just because they're very nice. I don't think like I said, I've never met anyone that was mean,
No.
or if they were, they were just, it was like a social thing. They didn't know.
They were having an episode,
Right.
and you're like, okay, we'll come back later.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, okay, whatever, you just let it roll off your shoulders and you come back. And I mean,
They're
I've
happy.
yeah. So, but like I said, this was awesome. I love to see stories like this. Yeah, I think they might have went a little bit overboard because they gave her a car, which, like I said, was cool, but it was everything all at once.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, they could have been like, okay, once you get to prom, give him the car, or
And-
give her the car and then have that drove to prom. But
Yeah.
with the Rolls Royce and the scholarship and the car and the dinner and
Yeah.
it was just a lot.
Back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah, it was
See,
back
now
to back.
if I was told that I could get anything from a restaurant that the chef wanted, that the chef could cook, dude, I'd be loading that plate up.
Oh, they did. They brought over like pizza. Daniel likes spaghetti. So the chef made him a plate of spaghetti and meatballs, and it looked really good. But like they had like 3 things come to their table.
I'd be getting like mozzarella sticks. I'd have mac and cheese, pizza. I'd like, hey, can you make some buffalo wings on there too?
No, but the chef was really nice about it. That's another thing I loved is the chef was like, he's like, listen, I don't care if it's on the menu. Anything you want, let me know.
Yeah.
And he already knew that Daniel liked spaghetti, so he brought out spaghetti. And Kaylee wanted a pizza, so he brought out a pepperoni pizza for her, and the mom wanted stuff. So it was like, and I love how the mom was included in everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was kind of big too.
Yep.
So it wasn't just the 2 of them going through this experience. It was, everyone, which was a little
I'm
weird.
sure the mom wanted to be like, oh, my baby boy, he's
Right.
He's becoming a man.
See, my mom tried to take pictures of me at prom, and I was so embarrassed. Like everybody else in my school, because I came from somewhat of a rich school.
Yeah.
So everybody's pulling up limos and stuff, and my stepdad drives me around in this like beat up like van with a sliding door, and I love him to death, but that was one of the most like I drove myself.
Yeah.
I drove myself and I parked my car, and they're like, "Oh, we'll drive you around front." I'm like, "No, that's fine. I'll walk." My mom's like, "Get in the car." I'm like, "Ugh."
Why?
And then she didn't stop there. She walked in with me.
No,
yes.
Mama, no.
And then she took a picture in the lobby, and I'm like, "Mom, I'm not here with anybody. Why are you taking pictures?"
Yeah, I didn't.
Like I don't.
I can't. No.
No.
I mean, I went with friends and stuff, but I didn't.
See, but all my friends were already there.
Oh.
They were there inside.
See, for Clarkston,
Because one of my friends had a girlfriend, and then the other ones that just already were there. And
Yeah.
one of my best friends actually had to, because we worked at the same place.
Yep.
He couldn't get the day off because I had the day off.
Oh.
So he would have went with me, and we would have hung out together. But he was stuck
Had
at
to
work,
work.
and he really
That
didn't.
sucks.
He really didn't want to go.
Oh, it's fine then.
I tried to convince him to go, and he finally got to the point. He's like, "Okay, I'll go." And then we didn't think about it, and it's like, well,
Yeah, I did. I mean, for Clarkston, and Brandon actually, there's a park in downtown Clarkston
right.
that everybody, I don't mean like some people, I mean everybody goes to this dang park to get their picture taken in this gazebo. It's weird, but it's a tradition. Like every single person goes to this park and takes pictures, and everyone waits their. It's like patiently too. Like you wouldn't think. Like, well, I wasn't patient. I was in a 3-piece tuxedo, and it was freaking late spring, early summer. So I'm dying of heat stroke. I'm trying to sweat through this thing, but
yeah, no, I had my suit that my grandma bought me a $400 suit from Men's Warehouse.
Yeah,
I
rented one.
And she said, "Listen, this is gonna be." She's like, "I want you to make this last through graduation, homecoming." Yeah. I mean, I wore it to almost every dance.
See, I got
it like freshman year.
Nice. We bought the overcoat, right? We bought the suit coat, but we rented everything else. As far as like tie and vest and pants. That overcoat did not fit me for more than a year after I got to Wayne State.
Well,
because I bulked up so much.
Let me tell you what. Okay, so we bought the suit freshman year, or a little bit before. Wore it for every dance and all the way up through graduation. After graduation, I dropped. Like I weighed 270. I dropped. I was almost 200 pounds when because I'm bored. I'm gonna go get a gym membership. I don't like my gut, so I went and did the trainer thing for a while.
Yep.
Lost almost 70 pounds. So I was like 210.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, that means my suit's not gonna fit. I put it on. I like swam in this coat and the pants and everything. So I'm like, well, let's take it in and at least see if they. And the little Korean lady walks out, and she literally walks out, looks at me, and goes, no, and walks away. I'm like, oh crap.
No, I'm not taking for you.
Well, I'm like, now I've got to, because it was so. The problem was it was so much fabric. She'd pretty much be making me a whole new coat.
Yeah.
And there's a certain point when they're like, no, I'm not even gonna. Can't be done. You know, you need a new one, and I'm like, which I'm glad I didn't get rid of it. I was, gonna sell it.
Yeah.
And then I bulked back up again when I met my girlfriend who eats only carbs.
Yep.
And now it fits again.
Yay!
And so now I'm losing weight again, and I'm hoping when I lose it this time, because we're both on a diet.
Yeah.
When I lose it this, because we both kind of gained a little bit of weight, Because she's
Mhm.
like, I used to weigh this, and it's all your fault. I'm like,
Nah,
uh-uh.
I am not getting blamed for this.
Hold up.
Do not pin this on me.
Anyway, so we're both, but I mean, I lost so much weight right after high school.
Yeah.
My grandma's like, well, I'm glad you didn't do that until after graduation. Because it was a $400 suit. But no, I went out with my mom, and we went out and picked up my tie. Because,
Yeah.
again, I didn't have a date.
No.
I could just pick out whatever color tie I want. My mom's like, get a purple tie. I'm like, I'm not getting a purple tie. I'm not going to do it. Pink? You know. And I ended up getting it was a striped tie. It was kind of like a diagonal striped tie.
Yeah.
And it had gray, pink, white, and I think there was like a light purple in there.
Nice.
It was really nice. I loved it. I still have it, actually. Every tie that's a cool thing. I buy ties that I like.
But
That
you
way-
never wear ties.
I wear ties.
Okay.
I was going to say, I worked at a factory, and one of the guys that was working there had passed away suddenly, and they left from the factory. I came from my house because I would have had to pass the funeral home
Yeah.
to go there to meet them there. So I walked up in this suit, and all they ever saw me in was, blue jeans, t-shirt, hat.
Yeah.
So I come walking up, and this $400 suit, nice tie, shirt, aviators, gelled hair. They go,
Who
Aaron,
you?
is that you? They're like, at first we didn't. We're like, is that Aaron? And I'm like, see, I've got more than just my Walmart clothes
there
on.
you go.
Because my supervisor, I had a bag. It was because my grandma reuses paper bags,
Mhm.
and so I had this bag I took my lunch in, and what I did is it was for something, and this supervisor, I loved him to death. He was awesome, but he was kind of an old man.
Yeah.
He said the word slacks.
Okay.
So he's like, we're sitting down eating, and I was eating salad at that point, cutting up chicken and made this big salad, and so I needed a bag to carry all the ingredients in separately.
Mhm.
So I threw it all together, and I'm sitting there eating, and he's like, "What'd you do? Go here and get some new slacks?" I'm like, "One, shows how old you are," because he was actually in his 20s,
Oh, jeez.
maybe getting into 30s. I think he was high 20s. And I'm like, one, it makes you sound really old when you say the word slacks.
Of course.
Two, my grandma does this little thing called recycling, where when you get a bag, you save it and
You
then
use it again.
reuse it. He's like, I don't know, I think you bought some slacks. I'm like, listen, I buy my stuff from Walmart, and the way I said that, there was this girl that was sitting there, and she just died laughing. She could not stop laughing. She was hysterically laughing, and we both laughed a little bit, and we're like, it is not this funny. And she couldn't stop laughing for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, it's just the way you said it. So they called them my Walmart clothes, because he would always make fun of how I got my clothes at Walmart, which really wasn't true. I get my pants from Kohl's or JCPenney's.
Yeah.
But I get some, and most of my concert T-shirts are most of my T-shirts are concert T-shirts, and they're $30 a piece. So, really, the only part of my wardrobe that did come from Walmart was my hat.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then my boots are about $200.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Some expensive boots.
well, they were cowboy boots straight from Nashville, Tennessee, and I actually got a
Straight
deal.
off
It
the
was
dead cowboy.
it was buy one pair, get two free.
Oh, that's worth it then.
And the way they work it is they make you pay for the most expensive pair. So I got three pairs, all for $200. So I paid $200 for 3 pairs of boots.
That's good. Okay, that's a good deal.
Now I need some new ones, and I'm gonna pay $200 for one pair because I really like this pair that I'm looking at. Anyway, off track, but so I come walking up in this big suit, and they're like, "Man," I'm like, "Hey, the redneck knows how to dress up a little bit." But yeah, I mean, we'll strut it out in this $400 suit, and they're like, "What?" So yeah, no, I can get dressed up. I mean, you should have saw me at Spec for my graduation.
Yeah.
My best friend and I love the show How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
And so over on my shelf, I've got both the playbook and the bro code.
Oh gosh.
I bought the
So
playbook.
You Barney Stinson it up, didn't you?
I bought the playbook. My best friend bought me because every year we get each other Christmas and birthday presents.
Yep.
And he bought me the bro code, the book, and a ducky tie from How I Met Your Mother. And so when I went to graduation, I wore my ducky tie. I got so many compliments on it, it was ridiculous.
My graduation, my mom was a little like confused with me because the only thing I wore underneath my cap and gown, was a pair of shorts and a t-shirt.
Well, this was my specs graduation.
Okay, well, I'm talking about high school.
I was gonna say my high school graduation. I regret my tie choice.
Yeah.
Because I wore this tie and it was black at the top and at the bottom had a little American flag.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this would be cool. And then I'm looking at the pictures. I'm like, no, it just looks like I'm wearing a black tie.
Yeah.
I should have, like, why did I wear that tie? Because it's cool to sit there and look at it when it's on the tie rack, but I've got some other more interest. And I didn't have the ducky tie at that point, or else I would have wore it to graduation. But I wore it to my specs graduation, and everybody's like, okay, I've got to ask. Is that a reference to How I Met Your Mother, or do you just like your ducky, like you just have a ducky tie? I said, no, it's a How I Met Your Mother reference.
Yep.
They're like, nice.
I'm very happy with you.
But yeah, no, I really do know how to dress up, but and I was very embarrassed at my prom by my, some of the things my mother.
Your mother.
But you know what? If your mom doesn't embarrass you or your grandma doesn't embarrass you, who can? You know what I mean?
A lot more myself, for one. I do a pretty dang good job of it.
Hey, if you can't laugh at yourself, So I'm gonna move on a little bit.
That's the big part, yeah.
What?
What? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I'm moving on.
Okay.
So this is something that I guess Twitter has just gone crazy over.
Wow, Twitter overreacting about something?
I
No
know.
way.
I know. But I think they have a little bit of a right to overreact
It's like
about
Tumblr
this.
not being an SJW site.
Anyway, so no, I think they actually have a right to kind of be upset about this. What it is there were these two girls that were wearing or who got denied entry to their flight. So they were going to board their plane, and they were told they couldn't board the plane.
No.
Now, here's the stupid part. It was because they were wearing yoga pants. Or no, it was leggings. They were wearing leggings.
Same thing. They're legitimately the same thing.
Pretty much. Either way, they were kind of younger girls. And that's and I mean I could see why it took off as fast as it did, because nobody really knew the story. Even knowing the story, it's still dumb.
Yeah.
So apparently what it was is these two girls were traveling under like an employee travel pass. They weren't
a buddy pass by like
right.
Mom or dad or some form of relative or friend
works for United Airlines,
and they got them free tickets, mind you, not discount tickets, completely free tickets.
Now, United says because they had that type of ticket, they had a certain dress code they had to abide by because they were quote unquote representing the company. Now, here's my issue: they had nothing on that said United Airlines.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what kind of ticket they had except for the stewardess and maybe the workers on the plane.
Yeah.
So why does it matter what they were wearing?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's kind of dumb too. It's like
I think it's really dumb.
There's no reason, even if it was an adult, to have a dress code for somebody that's just using a buddy pass. Regardless, it is a rule. But as far as how smart the rule is, not really. I mean, I can understand why, and I could understand why, if you went anywhere else, having someone tell a 10-year-old, because these girls were 10, right?
Somewhere around there,
10, 11 or something like that.
They were like a teen.
Yeah, soon to be teen.
Right.
If I saw a 10-year-old girl walking around, if they were with like their mother or something, that might be a different story. She might have said, "Hey, throw your leggings on, let's go." But if I saw two 10-year-olds walking around by themselves, because I have seen people throw their daughters or their sons on the plane by themselves, and to say, "Okay, have fun. Someone will pick you up on the other side," and you're hoping someone does.
Right.
But I'd be a little concerned seeing two 10-year-old girls walking around in just leggings. I mean, not obviously not just leggings, but leggings and t-shirt or whatever else they're wearing.
Right.
I mean, that's just like that's like predator candy 101.
Right.
And so I can understand that, but I mean, I think the lady that first reported it was a Twitter
fanatic.
Zilla.
Twitterzilla.
Kind of like Bridezilla, Twitterzilla. And she just started freaking out. She was like, I can't believe you would make this whole thing is sexist and it's wrong. It's like, no, it's the dress code for everybody. It's not saying you have to wear a dress or a skirt. It's like, throw on a pair of jeans. Throw on something like...
Or keep a skirt and throw it on.
Yeah. Like one of the people did that too. Someone else, I think, in the other part of the story was like, okay. And then she just pulled a sundress or something out of her thing and she just threw it over top of her clothes that she had on. They're like, okay, you're good to go.
Right.
And it's like, and I understand because some people are like still a little iffy on, the use of leggings. I mean, they're used all the time now. Like everyone wears them, but people are still iffy because how much they can show off.
Well, and it's funny because in school, you had to wear, at least in my school, if you wore leggings, you had to wear a dress that was longer than
the butt.
So long.
Yeah.
And pretty much that, all you could see was their legs and not, ta-da.
Da-da-da.
But they were also on the verge of outlawing yoga pants.
At my school they were too.
Which was a bummer for me because I really like yoga pants.
I mean, and I understood because it was always, I think the issue is everyone when it comes to like that, it's like, oh, you're repressing these girls. It's like, no, we're not. We're trying to stop pervy guys from being pervy guys, to a certain extent.
Right.
But I had an issue with because at the time when the high school was like, okay, we're considering banning yoga pants, right?
Right.
The cross country team, right, was getting ready for their stuff, or maybe it was outdoor track, was getting ready for their stuff, right? And it was still somewhat cold outside, so they're obviously going to wear long sleeve, long johns underneath their stuff too.
Right.
This dude came out of the guy's locker room wearing a long sleeve t-shirt or sweatshirt and just long johns, like Nike Under Armour, like compression pants, like
right,
waist to ankle, and that's it. Didn't have like a pair of shorts on. I'm like, dude, I'm sitting there going, what are you doing? He's like, what? I'm like, put something on. He's like, I do. I'm like, you're bulging out. Come on, like you are basically wearing latex on top of your body. Do you know how Superman controls that? He doesn't. All right, and you're trying to tell me like this kid is okay? Like that was my big thing. It was like, okay, if we're gonna say girls can't wear yoga pants, that's I'm okay with that.
But guys should not be able to do this.
But guys should not be wearing just compression pants. And everything is kind of sloshing side to side as he runs, and you can tell. It's not, I mean, although, side story, I used to play, because this involves compression pants. I used to play flag football on Monday nights, right? Just as something fun to do. It was a beer league. You pay $110 per session, and your whole team,
right?
Couple like 7 or 8 games, and then you can drink beer afterwards. Just
nice.
Fun. It's fun. It's just fun.
Sounds great to me.
It is. It's awesome.
Expensive, but great.
Oh yeah, but it was worth it, right? It was fun. And there was one guy who's just always just a very angry individual. Like I don't know why. He was the kind of person that was constantly mad that his girlfriend broke up with him or something like that.
Right.
And he would always get upset with me or one of the other guys on my team because we were always able to kind of get right underneath his skin when he started getting pissed off.
Right.
So he would always yell at us or whatever. And I'm sitting there going, can you really? Because he would always wear like leggings or like compression pants, right?
Right. Male leggings.
That was it. That was it from below the waist. Whatever. He wore other stuff, but that was it below the waist. So they're going like, can you really be this angry when you're wearing compression pants and no one can see a thing? Can you, why are you, maybe that's why he is angry, is because he wears these and it just looks like a blank slate in front.
There's a slate, but I don't know if it's blank.
It's something, but it's not there.
You know what I love
What?
about high school is the girls that, like, because we had a swimming portion of our gym class, and there were 2 girls that showed up in bikinis pretty much, and all the other girls and all the other girls were in one pieces because that's what they required.
Yeah.
And she this one girl comes in like this white bikini, and I'm like, okay,
I can do this. I'm fine with this.
I'm good with this. And then the teacher's like, oh no, you can't swim, and I'm like,
darn.
You gotta ruin everything.
You can't have a Janet Jackson in gym class. That's not kosher. People get upset.
And
it's
funny because my school kind of like, so in 8th grade we had a class field trip to the beach.
Yeah.
It was our end of the year field trip, and it was one of those things like there was no dress code. Girls wore bikinis, things like that, and it's like they're just asking for something to happen.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they had that, and then they had the gym class where you're going swimming. You got to know that there's somebody who's not going to buy a one-piece bathing suit just for a class.
I mean, if you got the body, you're probably going to want to rock it. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
But the issue is that you also have people that don't have the body that think they can still rock it, and then we have another issue entirely.
Right. Yeah.
You tarp it up. And it's just... No, my church group. My church has like a college and career aged church group, right?
Okay.
And we do a lot of stuff together. But the guy that runs it is always like, we'd appreciate it if the ladies, when we go swimming, don't wear bikini tops or bikini bottoms. And if you do have something, please throw like a darker colored shirt on, not like a white T-shirt, obviously, because it bleeds right through, right?
I love white T-shirts.
I know you do.
Okay.
And it's always like, I can understand that because it's a church function and whatnot. But at the same time, like if he's not hosting it or anything,
right,
or he's not in control of it, it's just us getting together. Like one of the girls I've known for a long time, and she and her boyfriend and a bunch of other people were there, and we were swimming next to my neighbor's pool next door.
Right.
And she's like, "Is it okay if I wear a bikini?" I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
No one. The only reason we follow that rule is because so and so doesn't like it. But it's like, no, I'm fine with it. You don't have to.
It's like they're not in control of this event. This is our event. We're just getting together.
Exactly.
And this is how it goes.
It always makes me laugh. I'm like, no one cares. And the amount that you care can sometimes be an obstacle.
Right.
It can be an issue on some things. But back to the United thing. I mean, yeah, I think it's a dumb rule because, like you said, there's no reason to have this rule.
Right.
No one knows that they're family or friends with an employee. They could just be a random traveler. And
you want to be comfy on a flight. I mean, I haven't flown since I was a little boy, but if I'm going to be stuck in a tin can for, however many hours,
yeah,
I'm not going to go in and, dress clothes and no.
I wear sweatpants.
Right. Yeah.
I think maybe, even if the girls are just wearing sweatpants.
I would wear my workout shorts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking, like basketball shorts?
Yeah.
That's what I would wear.
And I think, like, because of how popular leggings have gotten, like, in such a short time, too, let's keep that in mind. Leggings used to be just workout clothes. Like, in the 80s, you had leggings and you had ankle warmers, which serve no purpose, by the way.
Yes, they do. They warm your ankles.
They warm your ankles. But now they've become everyday dress attire. So, it's like, okay, I mean, that's part of it, but it's like, if you just throw in some sweatpants instead. In fact, if anything, they're comfier.
Oh, yeah.
Sweatpants are 10 times comfier than leggings probably will ever be.
See, and I'm not a sweatpants type of guy. Like I said, I'll do the basketball shorts. I'll rock those. But that's about it. But that's like, if I travel, I'll either wear blue jeans just because I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Or I'll wear basketball shorts.
Agreed. It's just,
so, but I mean,
gotta be comfortable, but unfortunately for these girls, they gotta be comfortable in a certain line.
Well, and it was funny. I was watching a video on this earlier, and you've got these two news anchors that are, sitting up straight and all dressed nice, and one's a guy, one's a girl. Like, what happened to the era when you used to dress up for flight? I'm like,
it died a long time ago.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not gonna wear a monkey suit while I'm sitting in a tin can waiting to get to where. Like, I look like a wreck when I travel. Like I said, basketball shorts. I don't care if it's hot, cold, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Basketball shorts or maybe like my because the shorts that I wear in the summer are like the cargo.
Yeah.
Short, the ones that were popular when we were younger, and it still are kind of popular. I wear those, so I'll wear like something like that. Get a big like sweat stain on my butt or something like. It's like I want to be comfortable.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna sit there. I'll pull my wallet out and put it on my put it in my cup holder.
You relax. You sit back and you relax.
I sit back. I relax. I just enjoy the ride.
Exactly. Which makes me laugh even more with the news anchors. It's like, I'm sorry you work for a job that makes you have to dress up nice. That doesn't necessarily need you to have to dress up nice. I mean, obviously, don't wear like a fruit cup stained white shirt. Obviously, like that's not. But like, wear a polo. Go to work, wear a polo. What's gonna happen? The viewership turned down. Why? Because of your polo. No, because we had crap stories. I'm sorry. That's the only because we talked about girls in yoga pants for 3 hours back to back. What do you want people to say? They don't care. It was definitely not my polo. Sorry. Just can't help it sometimes.
No. Like I said, the reason I think this is ridiculous, don't get me wrong. If they've got United, written all over them, dress code by all means.
Yeah.
But if they're traveling, whether they're traveling under these certain types of passes or not,
yeah,
as long as, because like I said, nobody's gonna know. Because that girl that posted on Twitter, she didn't know that they were associated with the company.
No, she's just like, I'm outraged.
Well, and from her perspective, I could see why.
Yeah.
She saw just normal customers getting denied flight because of what they were wearing.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Exactly. But they weren't normal customers. It ended up being normal. But I have a question though. I have one big question.
I have an answer.
So
hopefully.
So you have she's getting outraged because they have yoga pants. These girls are wearing leggings or yoga pants.
Right.
And she can't ride. What if United had given them these leggings or yoga pants and had United written all over the butt, all over down the sides of the legs and everything, just like cool designs or whatever, but it's always said United, which you've been like, this is sexual exploitation of young women, and I am so offended. Like, she kind of sounds like one of those people that it doesn't matter what you do, she's gonna be kind of pissed off about something.
I mean, they could have been wearing, sweatpants that said juicy on the butt. Exactly. She'd probably be outraged.
That's perfectly fine. They chose to wear it. They chose to wear the juicy, but United made them wear their own brand of clothing. Oh my gosh.
To be fair, I don't know if United would ever be caught making anything yoga pant or sweatpant.
Probably not. If anything, they'll make the most they will do will make a mini skirt.
Khakis.
United Airlines khakis.
Well, Delta.
A lot scratchier
Delta
than
Airlines. They've got like the sweater vests and shirts and like they have a whole uniform that they have to wear.
Look like Mr. Rogers getting on a plane.
But like I said, nobody was associated with this. Then nobody knew that they were associated with it. So why was it a big deal? Oh, why not just okay, cool, bye.
I mean, that's more of a internal United gotta ask the question of why is this rule still here? It doesn't serve a purpose anymore. It's done.
Well, it's kind of like the whole you can't park your horse on this side of the road, or you can't ride your horse on the.
It's a blue moon law,
right?
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one that's just kind of chilling there. Nobody really, it's not really relevant anymore. But nobody's gonna do anything to take it out of.
No.
And then kind of revoke that law or the rule.
And the thing is, the employee that stopped them could have easily said, "Hey, just go on. I don't care."
Right.
Or just didn't even think about it.
Right.
But at the same time, they could have been fired from their job if they had ever gotten caught. You let these girls on in yoga pants? How dare you,
I could just see a guy in a big suit like, this is not acceptable. We do not allow yoga pants. on our
I
flight.
have never, in my entire 45 years of airline experience, seen such disregard for airline rules and codes of ethics and conduct. Madam, you are fired.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see why it was a big deal. I think they made, as my grandma would say, a mountain out of a molehill.
Yep, grandma's right.
And that's,
That's about it, really.
about it.
Unfortunately.
So, yeah, I can't get over it.
Did you see? It's that dumb to you?
It's that dumb to me.
It is literally that dumb. I cannot get over this.
No, I can't. So, you know what I can get over though?
Hepatitis.
Movie Madness Monday.
Oh,
Movie Madness Monday! Movie Madness
Monday!
So, like I said, Mark's gone for today, so we're skipping his multiverse because you
Can't have a multiverse without Mark's multiverse.
Well, you can't have Mark's multiverse without Mark.
Either way.
Anyway, so we're gonna head on right into Movie Madness Monday. So, I said it in the beginning of the show. Yet again, they're gonna make another Spider-Man movie.
Woo!
Or are they?
Aww.
So, whoa. So what it is do you remember the villain Venom from the god awful third
movie that should have been nailed to the coffin before it even decided to come out? Yes. I love Venom, by the way. I love Venom as a villain.
You will love this then.
Yes.
Because Venom is getting his own movie.
Okay. Well, now here's a question. Is this supposed to be like in the Andrew Garfield realm of Spider-Man, or is it going to be in with the kid that was in Civil War? Is that supposed to be like this universe?
It didn't say.
Then I have problems.
It was okay. So they said it was the same character.
Yeah.
That was in the Tobey Maguire. The third movie.
Yeah. So it's gonna that Eddie Brock guy.
Well, no, I don't know if the actor's the same. I know it's the character is the same. Because I know in different universes and different comics they've got like Green Lantern. You've got like 3 or 4 different characters that play the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is the same case. If you've got several different characters that are Venom, but
usually right now it's usually just Eddie Brock, who was the reporter in Spider-Man 3 that got taken over.
So
he's the usual one.
They didn't say, or at least not that I saw. I'll go back to the link real quick and give a quick glance. But they did say that the Aquaman movie that was supposed to come out December 21st of 2018 has been pushed back
because they know it's about to get slammed. And welcome to the no.
I love the Space Jam reference. Hate Aquaman. And no, anyway, so Aquaman got pushed back. So they're like, they're like, okay, we're gonna throw this movie in to that spot.
Yeah.
And it says, let's see. For
what?
In Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, Topher Grace?
Topher Grace, yeah. Done the black suit as Eddie Brock.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's the same. It's gonna be the.
Yeah, so it looks like it's gonna be the same guy that played Venom in the Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Which he did a really good job. I did really like what he did with Venom. I really don't have too many complaints about how he played the character.
My only issue is that Venom is supposed to be a lot bigger than Spider-Man. And with the CG at the time, or however they did the motion capture, Venom was the exact same size as Spider-Man. Eddie Brock is supposed to be like, not just like Peter Parker is supposed to be the unsuspecting, like, no way, he's a superhero. He can't be Spider-Man. He's randomly Spider-Man. But Eddie Brock is supposed to be the guy that chose journalism, but like could have been like an athlete somewhere.
Right.
Like he's supposed to be buff and macho and just like, but with the way they had him in Spider-Man 3, it was like, I'm sad because Peter called me out on stuff. And yeah. It's my issues.
Well, they also have plans to do a Sinister Six.
They had, I think. Because with apparently with how bad the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield was, that might have stopped. I liked it. Honestly, I know you prefer Peter Parker as Tobey Maguire's
right.
Peter Parker.
No, I saw the first one, didn't see the second one. Saw the first one, thought it was a decent, like, I liked it.
Yeah.
There were concepts that I didn't like, and I just couldn't get into that.
That guy.
That series.
Did you not like it because he was too much of an everyman kind of character as opposed to a nerd? Was that it, or was it because
I just couldn't get into it?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know.
I mean, it had a great storyline. It had a, but then again, you've also got to remember, I grew up with Tobey Maguire. I mean, I went to the premiere of Spider-Man 2.
Well, I threw Tobey Maguire off as soon as I saw Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Did you really?
I did. I was like, oh my gosh, Andrew Garfield just did a 10 times better job than Tobey Maguire. However, I know a lot of people didn't like it because Andrew Garfield's character, the way they made Peter Parker as Andrew Garfield, was completely different than Tobey Maguire. And Tobey Maguire portrayed him in the first movie like a weak little high school kid.
Right.
That really, like, again, you wouldn't think was supposed to, but then with the Andrew Garfield one, he was like kind of like this.
He was kind of like a jock.
Lame hipster. No, he was kind of like this lame hipster. Doesn't fit anywhere. Skateboards around the school, kind of aloof.
Yeah, see, I didn't like that
person. But then he does, like, he schools the entire basketball team in the one scene, like where they're all like in the gymnasium.
Right.
And they're all goofing around, and he's taking pictures and like recording stuff, and they hit him with a basketball. So he puts the Space Jam on, and he schools the basketball team and shatters the backboard. It's like that's cool, but that's not Spider-Man. He's supposed to get beaten up. I mean, except for in the first one of the Tobey Maguire one, he did beat up Brock for almost a second.
Right.
But everyone was like, "Whoa, what was that?" And then it was never referenced again.
I love how the Tobey Maguire, like, he walked up and just punched this dude.
Yeah, right.
Or like the dude punched him, he blocked it like 3 times. Yeah. And I don't know, I liked how it was subtle, because like I said, that this in the new one, he was kind of, like you said, he was kind of like an
hipster. He was a hipster.
He was a hipster.
He was a hipster.
But I like how the other one was kind of like a nerd.
Yeah.
The whole point, from my understanding, the whole point of him creating those web shooters, was to show that he was a nerd. But the character wasn't a nerd. He was a hipster who turned into a nerd once he.
Well, he was like, "Oh, I'm smart, but I'm also sexy," which it was like Tobey Maguire was like, "I'm awkward. I'm an awkward person, and I do awkward things."
But he was smart, though.
He was smart.
He played the smart, awkward kid.
Which is what Peter Parker's supposed to be.
Right. I think that's why I have more respect for the, for that version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because, he portrayed the character the way it was supposed to be.
Like a nerd.
Right. And he showed off his abilities in other ways. He didn't have to create web shooters or things like that. And I love the fact, like, one of the arguments I have against the, like, creating the web shooter is I'm like, listen, okay, so he's got bitten by a spider and supposed to have all the powers of a spider, except for
the webbing.
The one thing that makes a spider a spider.
I think there's a reason for that. There is one reason for they decided to make him build the web shooters. Because how awkward would Spider-Man be if he was swinging from building to building in New York City from his anus?
Well, that's why I like the wrist thing. That's why I liked how it was in the wrist.
Yeah, but that's not where spiders shoot it from. They shoot it from their butts.
Right.
So I can imagine Tobey Maguire going, "Woo!"
No, I got that. But the whole point is, spiders are made like that. But I did like the wrist thing, but I love the fact that he somehow it altered his DNA so he was able to make web.
Yeah.
And yeah, they did go into a part where he was like starting to kind of lose his powers.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of an interesting change up. Versus like, in the new one every like 5 minutes he's like, crap, I'm out of web. I'm like, well,
yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't have created canisters.
Or make better canisters.
Or make better canisters. You're supposed to be really smart. So I don't know. Like I said, it's scientifically I like the Tobey Maguire just because it kind of like I said, he has all the powers of a spider.
Powers. Yeah.
And in the new one he has all the powers except the main one that spiders have.
He has all the spider powers.
I mean he can climb up walls. Okay, cool. I would rather him create his own web and like create a device so he can climb up walls.
Yeah.
That would have been a little bit more like, you know what I mean?
Like he found out how it makes him like really sticky and he was able to crawl that way.
Right.
Okay. I see.
Or like he made like a set of gloves to go with his suit that he used those to climb up walls.
Yeah.
Rather than the little, but I did like how in the Tobey Maguire they kind of like zoomed in and showed like the little claws,
hairs coming
the
out.
little hairs that came out of his hand, and that's what.
Yeah.
And then he had like the whole where he was trying to get used to it, and he was like, he had the paper on his hand. He's like, ah,
this is so creepy. But as far as like a Venom spin-off movie, that's just my biggest question is what Spider-Man is it supposed to be? That you're,
like I said, it didn't say.
Because obviously Andrew Garfield was like, I don't want to do Spider-Man anymore because apparently I'm a little too moody, to hear bad critic reviews of my movies. It's not Tobey Maguire because he's like 45,
right?
And he's done. He's done being Spider-Man. So I guess the only thing that we to assume would be the new kid, if he makes a cameo at all, which if he doesn't, it's be like this is a very awkward Venom movie,
right?
Which is,
well, I wonder if it's not like an origin story because we've had one of those. We know where Venom was kind of developed.
Yeah.
I wonder if it kind of goes if they're gonna do the same actor that was in the why can I not think of his name? There it is, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. If it's the same actor, I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of like after the big
fight or whatever.
After the big fight, what does he do? What kind of trouble does he cause? Yeah. Things like that. Or what caused him to... I don't know. I feel like they might add on that way. It's kind of like the Hulk. Like, you could not do another Hulk origin story. It's been done like 5 times.
It's painful.
It's very painful.
Because
but they're doing another
Hulk is an awkward character to make an origin story for.
But they're doing another Hulk movie, but it's not an origin story.
Ooh, I haven't heard about that.
Oh, you didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah, no, they've got they released there's like sculptures of like the Hulk armor.
Oh, it's gonna be like Planet Hulk?
Yes.
No, they're actually doing a full-length movie on that?
I think so. As far as I know.
Here, I'm gonna look it up right now.
I don't know if it was released in length of completely what it is. But I do know that at a Comic-Con somewhere they revealed armor which suggested that it was going to be the Hulk. And while we're waiting, because you said you brought up this name, I had to play it. You ready?
Yeah. Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam.
All right.
Oh man, that takes me back to my childhood.
So much childhood.
Speaking of basketball, real quick. So the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
And their 2004 championship win and the dream team that they had.
Yeah.
Big Ben just got his jersey retired.
Wallace got his finally.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Because I think Billups is already up there. He's had that done.
I think he has. Yeah.
I think almost all of them have. I think Billups and Prince did for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Rashid did, but they were all there. The Dream Team was all there. They had Billups, Prince, like the entire team that won that year was at this ceremony. And it was pretty cool listening to them talk. Although it was weird because Big Ben doesn't have the fro anymore.
Yeah.
He like shaved it off. I'm like, man, you can't fear the fro anymore.
Can't fear it.
It's gone.
Well, you can't. You can't fear the fro like you never feared his free throw shot.
You feared his slam dunks though. Holy
You feared his
crap.
slam dunk. But that's why you just followed him out if you were winning, because you knew he wasn't gonna make a single one.
No, anyway, but he was one of my all-time favorite players
Yeah.
out of the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the Dream Team. They were like my all-time favorite like version of the Pistons.
And then they didn't know what to do with them after that.
Well,
They were like-
no, what happened is Ben Wallace got traded to the Bulls,
Which we don't know why.
and then I think Prince left after that. Then Billups left.
Yeah.
And the other Wallace left. Like, all the Dream Team slowly left. Billups came back in for a season and then retired. I think Prince did the same thing. I actually think they all came back for one season and retired with the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
But they all talked about how, you know, it didn't matter where they were at in their career. They always remembered and always, their favorite part of their career was when they were at a part of the Pistons.
Yeah.
So, that was really cool. I watched the whole ceremony. It was great.
Now were we talking about the Hulk for a sec?
Yeah.
Apparently there isn't one coming out. There's not going to be a Hulk movie. Apparently Universal's like, no, we're done. We've tried this, and it doesn't work. Because every time we do it, someone tries to make a huge creative leap. That doesn't exactly work out for anybody.
Right.
At least the most recent Hulk movie, the one which surprising to everyone because I didn't know this because I didn't see it.
What was the newest one?
The newest one was like back in 2008.
Oh, yeah, that
The
one was
live-
crap.
When we fought Abomination or whatever,
Mhm.
which no one really understood this at the time, right? Because we weren't expecting Iron Man
Right.
soon to come. But you know how they started doing the post-credit, like dun dun dun.
Right.
Tony Stark was in that. He
Was
was in the, and no one really stayed around because no one was used to it at the time. Of post-credit scene. What is this?
Right.
You know, and even after the first Iron Man, no one knew except for a couple people. You know that there were post-credit scenes,
All you had to do was watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off
right?
or Deadpool.
Yeah. But no one was, and so that Hulk movie had Stark talking to General Ross
Right.
about how to contain the Hulk. So it's like, are you kidding me? The crappiest superhero movie within the last decade was the one that kicked off all these awesome superhero movies. All this chain of event was this.
Well, and then I love the fact that they changed the actor that played the Hulk because I really like who they chose.
They changed. He's changed every single time he's been on television or movies.
No, but from the last Hulk movie
Yeah,
to the Avengers, he changed over to
he changed over to Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, and Mark Ruffalo did a really good job.
Yeah, I like that.
So I really wanted to see a what was it, Hulk, Planet of the Hulk or Hulk Planet?
Planet Hulk.
Right.
Yeah,
I wanted to see that with Mark Ruffalo.
that would have been good.
That would have been really
But
good.
that's going to have to come at a later time or be official. Like, this is officially just a spin-off movie. Do not take this as canon for the
Right.
Joss Whedon series.
Right.
Because that whole entire
It was horrible.
episode... Well, that whole entire episode as far as Planet Hulk, that's a really serious and, like, gritty storyline.
Well, and that's why I think, like, because like I
He
said,
ends up
we've
having
done
a
a
son.
million origin stories, and they
Yeah.
just don't work. It's weird. But I feel like this one would actually work, because it's not an origin story.
No, it's a continuation.
Right.
Of course, and that's why...
So I think they could have it build off of the Avengers movies into this new one.
Well, like, the Avengers have saved the Hulk as far as cinematically.
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
and not like in the cartoon ones are always good
Oh, yeah.
for some reason, but the cinematic ones, the live action ones, the Avengers saved the Hulk
Oh, yeah.
because if it wasn't for
So did Mark Ruffalo.
yeah,
Mhm.
Mark Ruffalo and the Avengers movies saved him Because without those, you would still have crappy Hulk movie number 1 and 2 in your mind, and you're just like, why am I watching this? Why is the Hulk on screen again?
Right.
This is not going to end. And then he just comes out as an amazing character.
Well, and
you know what I think the reason is? Is because they made a good Bruce Banner as opposed to just making a good Hulk.
right.
He spent most of the time as Bruce Banner instead of, and when he did turn into the Hulk, it was an epic. In the first few ones, if he was Bruce Banner, he was Bruce Banner for 90% of the film, and then changed into the Hulk for like 10 minutes.
Right.
Or he was sporadically the Hulk at random times, and you were like, why is he sporadically the Hulk right now?
Right.
He didn't need to be. He could just calm down and he'd be fine. But
Right.
he got freaked out. So.
No, I think my favorite scene in the first Avengers movie is when he runs up to Thor's hammer and goes to pick it up, and he's like pulling on it.
Almost there. Yeah.
No, he didn't even get it off the ground. He's like pulling on it and not even picking it up. Thor walks up and just grabs it by the tassel and just swings it around and throws it.
Yeah.
But no, that was a great scene. But I feel like they also added a comedy element to it because I feel like all the other ones were really serious.
Oh yeah.
And
well, that was the mark against superhero movies for a long time.
Right.
Too serious.
Oh yeah.
Way too serious.
Well, and then I mean, you could do serious like if you look at the Dark Knight series.
That was done well. Yeah.
And very seriously, but because it was done well, and because of how serious it worked out.
Yeah.
The other ones just got very vulgar and very weird.
Yeah. Well, like Blade. Everyone liked Blade. Blade became a cult classic. But Blade on its own, if you look back at it, it's like a vampire hunting vampires, and it's super bloody and super gory. No one wants to. Oh, but the hardest comic book fans is going to want to watch this.
Well, and
you're not going to get random fans out of this movie.
There's some superheroes that the origin story works and their solo movies work.
Yeah.
And there's other ones that don't. Like Aquaman. Doesn't need a solo movie.
He doesn't. He really doesn't. Because you just know that he is.
Right. It'll be a huge flop.
Probably.
And I mean,
honestly, I expect most DC movies to flop. Like the Man of Steel, I didn't like it.
I heard so much bad stuff about it. I didn't even try.
I thought it was probably out of the Superman movies I had seen. Because to be honest, the only Superman movie I had seen up until the point, or one of the two Superman movies I had seen up until that point, was the Superman Returns, where
I saw that.
Where it's Lex Luger is played by what's his name?
I know what you're talking about.
He makes a giant island of kryptonite.
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, "This is I was like 10 when that thing came out. I'm like, this is a crappy movie.
Right.
Why am I watching this movie?" And then Man of Steel came out. I was like, "Oh, hey, this seems like it'd be a decent origin story." And it's like,
this is a crappier movie.
I mean,
why am I watching?
It wasn't crap. It was definitely the better of the ones I've seen.
Right.
But it was like, could you? I mean, like my issue is that they tried to make Clark Kent seem like a tortured soul.
Right.
Just the epitome of pain and suffering. It's like, no, Superman was supposed to have a decent freaking life.
Right.
And then become a journalist.
Right.
And in the whole first movie, it was, I am tortured. I have to go from job to job because my strength may possibly harm somebody. It's like,
that's not how it happened.
That's nothing. And then, the Force of Solitude is found out. Well, that happens. Great. What happens after that? He moves it, and no one ever sees it again. And Lois Lane looks like an idiot because I saw a giant palace made of crystals. How is she not fired?
Right.
How has she not been fired? And consequently, cut off from the entire journalist community.
Well, okay, so one of my favorites was actually a series. It wasn't a movie. It was a series, and it was called The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Okay.
And that was a Superman movie, and it pretty much revolved around Lois and Clark and Superman.
Yeah.
And it had like the Daily Planet and all that kind of stuff. And each episode, something would happen. He'd change into Superman,
Yeah.
But there's always like this romance brewing between the two, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
They're supposed to kind of be, something going on, but not quite.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good. I mean, granted, for the time that it was in, the graphics were pretty decent.
Yeah.
And now you're like, you can tell he's in front of a green screen. Well, but back then,
it was pretty good.
It looked pretty good. And the animated series, I think, is by far the best.
Everyone, I think
for DC all the way around.
For the Batman animated series and the Superman animated series, both
and Justice League.
And Justice League, everyone will agree that was the best way the DC has been portrayed.
And that's why I wanted this Justice League movie to be
similar,
like the same heroes.
Yeah.
That were in that one, because like I saw the Justice League trailer, and I'm not really as pumped as I was.
I heard it was Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and
the Flash.
Which I'm sorry, but even like here's my issue with that is for Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's dead. He's supposed to be dead. Is he probably dead? No. Honestly, Superman has come back more times than any other superhero in the entire planet.
Right.
Probably except Wolverine and Deadpool.
Right.
Because they just come back from a bloodstain.
Right.
But my issue is that Henry Cavill, who was Superman, had one movie, which is the first one that he starred in, where he fought or whatever, and he destroyed Metropolis. The second movie he was in as Superman wasn't Superman 2. It wasn't a lead up to anything. It was Batman v Superman.
Right.
Which starred Ben Affleck, who has never played Batman, and honestly did a better job of playing Batman than the guy who's already played Superman.
Right.
Which is a bad thing. If you've already done a character once, you should probably have a pretty good grasp on how to do it.
Well, and because everybody liked, granted, Batman v Superman was kind of a flop.
It was.
But everybody liked Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
So they were talking about a while ago giving him his own solo movie.
And I think that should have happened. That should have happened first. Because I'm not talking about another, how did Batman become Batman? I am the Knight. Right? Because we've seen that a million times.
Well, and even Dark Knight didn't do that.
Well, they kind of did.
A little bit, but...
They kind of did, like, oh, crap, oh,
They kind of skimmed over it, and then this is where he's at now.
Yeah, which in some movies you need to kind of give the origin story, but in Batman, and many times it's been told, as much emphasis is put on it throughout movies, you don't need to tell it again.
Right. Or just gloss over it, kind of like The Dark Knight did, where it's like, this is what happened, here's where we're at today.
Yeah.
And start the movie kind of from there.
Or, like, if Superman, that first movie, had just been like, a pod of Superman floating in space.
Right.
Or shooting to Earth, I think that would have been a fine opening. I didn't need to see 25 minutes of Krypton exploding and slowly disintegrating as people fight for power. That was the thing, is that everyone's getting angry. How can you do this? And then, bad people are fighting to, be the government. But it's like, why are you fighting the government?
Right.
You have a half hour to live.
Right.
Go home to your wife or something. Just do something other than fight for power on a planet that's not going to exist in the next 20 minutes.
Right.
So that was one of the things that kind of was annoying about the Superman film, and now putting it into not an Avengers, the Justice League. It's like, okay, so we have a bad origin story. We have a guy that's only played Batman once who has no origin story,
and plays it better than the guy who's playing Superman.
Exactly, who's dead.
Right.
We have Wonder Woman, who's like an add-on in the Batman vs. Superman. Do you need help? Yes. Where have you been, and why have you been pretending not to be Wonder Woman? You jerk. And that was a whole like it in the Batman v Superman movie. I don't know if you remember, but there's a scene.
I didn't get to see it. I wanted to see it because I knew part of it was, or most of it was filmed in Michigan.
Yeah.
Some of it was filmed in East Lansing.
And there's one scene where Batman is seeing all this stuff about metahumans, which is what they call
Right.
superheroes in the DC universe. And he's going through the Flash, he's going through the Cyborg one, he's going through the Aquaman one, he's going through the Wonder Woman one. And that scene took 5 to 7 minutes of that movie. It took 5 to 7 minutes of the movie to announce characters we already knew were real.
Right.
And it was like, oh my gosh, they're doing the thing with the Avengers do, and they're like, hinting towards other movies. And it's like, oh, sorry, there's not going to be a Flash movie. There's not going to be a Cyborg movie. There's not going to be a Wonder Woman movie. There is going to be an Aquaman movie, and you're going to hate it.
I hate Aquaman. I'm not even going to see the movie.
It's like, I'm sitting in the theater going, you just tried to advertise something for 7 minutes. If you give like a little like Easter egg where it's like, oh, hey, did you see that? No, I didn't. Let's go watch it. Let's go rewatch it when it comes out on DVD. That's a good way of marketing.
Right.
But 5 to 7 minutes going, this is a character that you will see in a new movie coming soon. This is another character you will see in a new movie. It's just like, okay, you're punching me in the face with
repeatedly
with content, and content I don't want to see.
Right.
So I'm kind of iffy on how that whole Justice League movie will be.
Well, like I said, I'm already
general.
disappointed because it doesn't have the lineup that I wanted.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you have an animated series that the lineup everybody loves.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Martian Manhunter. They like Hawkgirl, Wonder Woman.
Green Lantern might not even be in this movie, by the way.
I know, and that irritates the crap out of me.
Because
I love Green Lantern, and he was part of the Justice League.
And they're like, oh, maybe he'll have like a little cameo appearance. I'm like,
I don't want him to have a cameo.
No, either
Aquaman can have a cameo.
Either bring him in or don't bring him in.
If anybody's gonna have a cameo, it could be Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much what he did in the animated series, and it worked.
I'm here. I have a hook for a hand. What do you need me to do? And it was like, fight this guy. Okay.
Well, and one thing that I love about the animated series is it kind of gave somewhat of an origin story of almost, they didn't do Batman or Superman because that was done in their own series. So they brought them in. And then you had, you're like, okay, well, this is how Wonder Woman got to where she's at. This is what happened. Sweet. And then John just kind of appears, and you slowly, over time, figure out how he ended up there.
Yeah.
And what his story is. And that was cool. And you know what the Flash is? I think the Flash for a while had they had an animated Flash series.
I don't think they did.
Well. I thought they did, but I didn't think it did too well.
Maybe it didn't.
But I love that version of the Flash because he was, funny and
he was an idiot.
But he was great.
But he was also the weird part is he was an idiot socially, but his day job was like a physicist.
Right.
So it was like, oh, this is good.
No, he was really funny and he acted really dumb, but he was really smart.
Yeah.
And then Hawkgirl, her story ties in, and I just love how all the stories tied together. And then yes, Aquaman was in there, but he wasn't a part of the Justice League.
No.
They ran into him and they showed how he got the hook for the hand.
Yeah.
Which I watched that when I was rewatching, and I'm like, ooh, I remember that as a kid. I thought that was kind of like, I didn't like that part too much when he got his hand,
chopped up. Well, he chopped his own hand off to save his son. Yeah.
And so it kind of like that gave him kind of a story, and it showed him as the ruler of Atlantis.
Yeah, give him an edge.
Which is where I liked him.
Yeah.
Because one episode he could be against the Justice League, and another one he could be helping.
Yeah.
Or they could help him. And I like that role because honestly, I feel like, Atlantis and Aquaman, they go together.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to separate them.
Right. So I know if they do a live action Aquaman movie, it's not going to have Atlantis. It's not going to have.
It might for a second. It might be like, hi, we're
Atlantis.
new here.
Bye.
And, or a plot won't function around Atlantis in any way.
Or they'll throw content at you.
Just content.
Or it'll be like, here's Batman, here's Wonder Woman, here's Cyborg. I'd be like, how did Cyborg not electrocute in the water?
Yeah. Well, that's an origin story that might need that needs a movie because most people don't know about Cyborg. The idea was he was like a star athlete and he got hurt and his dad was already working on this technology, so he's just like, I have an idea. Instead of taking my son to an actual doctor. I'm going to plug him into a rope to a machine, and the machine was like, okay, he's a cyborg now. And as dumb as that sounds, as dumb as I explained it, most of the tough part about cyborg is getting to understand how his body works.
Right.
And all that stuff. So maybe he needs one, maybe he doesn't. If he does, I say it's a double origin story where you pair him up with another superhero.
Right.
Or something. But here's the sad part for the Justice League movie. I've heard more fanfare about the Lego Batman movie than I've heard about the Justice League.
Do you know why? You know why? Spoiler alert, by the way. If you haven't seen it, are you planning on seeing it?
I might be, yeah. I'm iffy when it comes to Lego movies because I didn't like the Lego movie.
I loved the Lego movie.
I thought it was so dumb.
I thought it was great.
Either way.
Anyway, so I'm gonna spoil something for you, and all you listeners, spoiler alert. So there's a cameo by the animated series lineup of the Justice League.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they got the Martian Manhunter and
nice.
The one difference is instead of what was it, John, the Green Lantern, he was instead of John whatever.
Yeah, black guy.
They had
Hal Jordan.
Okay.
Which John Stewart.
Right. Yeah, instead of John Stewart, it was Hal.
Which confused me because I didn't watch Justice League growing up, but I watched the Daily Show every once in a while. So I'm like, this is not a small Jewish man. This is a large black guy. Oh, this is different.
No. Anyway, so they swapped those out, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But it was funny because they had the Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
They had,
Hawk Girl.
I think Hawk Girl. I think she was in there, but I'm not sure. But they had Wonder Woman, and so I was like, oh my god. So no, Lego Batman movie is really good.
Yeah.
Because it's more about the relationship.
Yeah.
Between Joker and Batman. Mm-hmm. And it's really funny.
As opposed to like.
It's like a reverse romantic comedy.
Nice. I like it.
It's okay. So instead of like them loving each other, it's how much they despise each other.
Nice.
So they're trying to spend the whole Joker's trying to spend the whole movie trying to prove how, like,
how much he needs Batman or whatever.
Yeah, how much they need each other.
That's actually very accurate.
Oh, it was really good. It was really good.
It's very accurate to the comics too.
But
because
like I said,
that's always Joker's thing is like, trust me, you need me as much as you hate me. You need me.
Well, but it wasn't that. It was like, I hate you, and it's like, I hate you too, and so it was like a romantic comedy, but in reverse.
I like it.
But they had like cameos from like almost every evil person from every movie.
Nice.
So I won't say any more.
Okay, that's fine.
But you need to watch it. I think you would really, really, really enjoy it.
Okay.
Although I am mad because they are coming out with pretty much the Lego movie again, just like a Chinese version of it.
Really?
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's what is it called? So to me, it looked exactly like the Lego movie, but it was literally like a Japanese version. They had like That
just seems like a complete and total ripoff. Like, why would you want to do that?
Where is it at?
I mean, I'm seeing like a Japanese dub of the Lego movie, but I'm not seeing.
What's that new one they're coming out with?
I do not know. Is it the Lego Movie 2?
No.
Oh, Ninjago?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Why?
How do you spell that? Ninjago.
Ninjago. Which is like, that just seems so, like, that was a B-rate TV series. That wasn't even like a decent like TV series. Why would you make a movie out of that?
Oh, and it literally is the same storyline as the Lego movie.
Is it?
That's what's irritating. Like so I went into the Lego Batman movie and I'm all pumped and I watched this and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean they even went so far as like they've got a guy with a beard, just like Morgan Freeman's character, and I'm pretty sure he's played by Morgan Freeman.
It says there's an old master by Jackie Chan.
Okay, so it was Jackie Chan, but still. it's like, but the storyline is 6 young ninjas, and they list off their names, are tasked with defending their island home of, I can't say that name. What's the name of it?
Well, I'm. Which one are you looking at? 'Cause I know. Which site are you looking at?
IMDb.
Okay, hang on one sec.
The official movie site.
The official movie site of every single movie ever.
Because they're accurate. That's why.
That's true.
Ninjago. Anyway.
Yeah, Ninjago.
So their island of Ninjago, by the night, they are gifted warriors using their skills and awesome fleet of
vehicles to fight villains and monsters. By day, they're ordinary teenagers struggling against their greatest enemy. High school.
Sounds like the Power Rangers versus the Lego, or combined with the Lego movie.
That's just a bad thing.
But literally, I watched this
especially with
trailer.
the Power Rangers movie coming out.
I watched this trailer and I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, we've already got a Lego movie. Why do we need this?
Yeah.
I was actually, my excitement for Lego Batman movie went down, and my irritation factor just went up. That's what happened. I just got super irritated. It's like, so
if you're looking for a way to get back at Aaron for anything he's ever done to you, just mention the Lego Ninjago movie, and you'll win.
You know what else you could mention that would irritate me?
What?
Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Dolittle.
Yes. 120%. Yeah. This movie series was crashed after Eddie Murphy did it for a second movie. Why would you pick
The third one wasn't that bad. When they had like the girl who played his daughter do it.
That was the worst one. I'm sorry.
No, I like that one. I thought it was kind of cool how she went to the camp and whatnot.
It was a good pretense, but my issue was like she didn't want to be her dad. And it's like if you're a teenager, right? I understand, I don't want to be like my parents, but if your parents passed off a genetic trait that you could talk to animals.
Right.
I don't know a single teenager who's like, I don't want to talk to animals.
I'd love to talk to my dog.
Everyone will want to talk to animals. People will be coming up. People will go into you. Like, her whole thing in the movie was like, people are going to think I'm weird. And at the very end, they're like, well, you can talk to animals too, like your dad? You're a Doolittle? Dude, why didn't you tell us? That's awesome. Do you understand we could have won whatever competition we're in right now?
See, but it's also, here's why I liked it. Because, like I mentioned earlier, if your parents can't embarrass you, who can?
True.
And I think it was one of those that her dad, she was living under her dad's shadow.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you have an older brother and he's, the king of the school, and then you come in and you're like, oh, you're so-and-so's little brother.
Yeah.
No, I'm my own person.
True.
She didn't want to be her dad's daughter. Oh, you're
so-and-so's
you're
daughter,
Doolittle.
aren't you?
Right. She wanted to be herself.
Fair enough.
And so I like how that story progressed, that, she kind of warmed up to the powers and used them in her own way.
Yeah.
Rather than, And now, again, the second one of her doing that was dumb. That was overdoing it. Eddie Murphy's second one was overdoing it. And those weren't even the originals.
No.
But this one, with Robert Downey Jr., is going to be horrible.
Why do you say that? Is there anything that leads you to say that other than the fact that
because the title of it is The Voyage of Dr. Dolittle. and it is the third film featuring the character that was played in the original 1968 musical starring Rex Harrison,
who's an English actor,
and then the reboot in 1998 starring Eddie Murphy. So I think this is going to be like the musical version.
So you're thinking, but less singing, hopefully, because I don't want to hear Robert Downey Jr.'s cigarette voice singing.
Now, see, what is one of the worst things you could think that this movie's going to have in it?
Music.
So what do you think they're going to put in it?
Probably music.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Is it for sure that they're going to do at least some kind of... Like, I wouldn't mind it being like one of those things, like when one of the characters starts singing and someone else punches him in the gut. Like, no, we're not doing that right now.
I love those. Those are some of my favorite.
But it's more importantly, Robert Downey Jr. just needs to stick. In my opinion, I understand he wants to do other things, and he should do other things, but nothing that veers so far from what he's currently doing.
Well, see,
He was
I want
lucky
him to do
come
another
back.
Sherlock movie. Those Sherlock Holmes movies he did.
I like those too.
I really like those. I want there to be a third because they set it up for a third.
Yeah.
But we won't see that until Iron Man's done.
No. I mean, here's the thing. He got lucky to come back to Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
After his, kind of own tumultuous life pre-Iron Man,
Right.
drugs, all this stuff. No one thought he was going to make a comeback. Like
Right.
he'll be in movies simply because he's a decent actor. He's a good actor. But he won't be in hit things. And then all of a sudden Iron Man comes out and is the epitome of superhero movies ever. Like everything was measured to it in that sense. So he got lucky that he came back into Hollywood as strong as he did. But doing stuff like this, I understand it's for fun, but it's also kind of like...
Well, it's like, okay, he did Sherlock, which really good.
Yeah.
Iron Man, fabulous.
Yeah.
He did that the one road trip movie with Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah. I don't
Due
remember.
Date.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Was it? I didn't see it.
I really liked it. The Zach Galifianakis. I mean,
Galifianakis?
anything with him is fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. But no, anything and Robert Downey Jr. played like the serious,
Played the straight man. That's what it's called. Like
pretty much, yeah.
The serious,
serious, easily angerable person.
Yeah, the one where most of the comedy actually comes from.
Right.
Because of how he reacts to everything.
Right.
So.
But no, that was a great movie. He's done a lot of really good movies. I think this is just not a good fit for him.
No.
And
because it's too silly. It's too silly, and he gets treated like a serious actor nowadays, as opposed to he's done movies where he's the funny guy by being dumb or being serious, sure, but a movie that's completely silly, no, he hasn't done. I don't think he's ever done anything like that. So,
okay, so it says the film is called The Voyage of Dr. Dolittle, and through it nearly shares a title of one particular 1922 lofting book. Exact pilot details under wraps. So I'm wondering if it's going to be at like this book. Because same title, probably somewhat same storyline, except they're going to butcher it up and make everybody who read the book hate the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much how it's going to go.
Probably.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most likely.
Let's move on before I keep getting irritated.
Yeah.
Because just the thought of Robert Downey Jr. is talking to animals is just it's irritating.
Just a little bit.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
Okay. So next we're going to talk about what is leaving Netflix.
Leaving or leading?
Leaving.
Okay. In April, mind you, not.
Yeah, in April. Did I not say that?
No, you said leaving.
Oh, it's leaving Netflix this coming month in April.
Yeah.
And this list always irritates crap out of me. So I went in and I found another list of everything that's coming to Netflix, which irritates me even more. So I don't even know why I did this in the first place. But I like to keep you guys updated on what's going on with Netflix because I don't even think they know what's going on. So it irritated me because I started just kind of glancing at this list and I can't do it. I hate.
This is a very extensive list too.
Oh, it is. It tells you what day everything's leaving.
This isn't just like it's not. I meant it's not like a short list. It's a
no. So you've got movies like Buffy the Vampire Slayer's leaving, Firefly, House is leaving.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, Superman's 2, 3, and
a lot of Superman movies.
Right.
Just a ton of Superman movies.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Superman movies.
Yeah.
including the Superman movie, The Princess Bride, The X-Files, and that's all like the beginning of April.
April 1st to be. Oh, you know what? It's April 1st. It's April Fool's Day. They're probably just joking about all that. I guarantee you. No, watch. It's gonna be like April Fools. We're just screwing with you. It's these because if you look at the rest of this, most it's like one or two things. Like for the rest,
no.
for the
Usually when they
rest of
take stuff
April.
off Netflix, they usually have a big long list
Really?
for the first day, and then kind of one or two here or there for the rest.
Oh.
So I think it's kind of like all the they pretty much tried to line up as many as they could,
Yeah.
but then they add others where the contracts are falling off.
See, here's what I don't get is I'm looking at some of these. I'm getting like Legit, which I don't even know what it is. Season 2, Wilfred, Season 4. Which if you haven't watched Wilfred, I've watched a little bit of it, but it's a pretty funny thing. American Dad, Season 6. It's like, why are you taking away random
Seasons.
I mean,
No, because that's probably the only season they put up, because they don't put up the entire series.
No, American Dad has seasons 1 through 10.
They're taking out 6?
Yeah.
That's
Family
irritating.
Guy, like every time Family Guy finishes a season, it immediately goes up on Netflix. Like Family Guy has like 17, 18 seasons on, or however many they're in.
Well,
now.
it's kind of like this, The Nutty Professor 2. They don't
That's
even have
fine.
one up.
They don't have one. They don't have the original.
Not that I know
the
of.
first one. What the heck? That
Um,
just seems dumb.
yeah, it's just like I said. This list usually irritates the crap out of me.
I mean, some of these I don't even like.
No.
Collateral Damage, The Circle, no idea. The boys from Brazil, nah. Firefly is, people love Firefly, but the issue is people are gonna complain. No, you shouldn't take away Firefly from Netflix. Firefly had one season.
Right.
Firefly is a cult classic because everyone wishes it had continued, but no one watched it when it first came out.
Right.
So, cry by the one. Ferris
Well,
Bueller's. Honestly, this might surprise you. I didn't like Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I love
I
it.
didn't. I watched the whole thing. I'm like, so you're telling me this kid who has way more influence over people than he should convinced his girlfriend and his best friend to do something that could potentially get them in a huge crap ton
He
of
didn't
trouble.
convince his girlfriend. His girlfriend was on board.
Okay. He said, please meet me outside the school.
He was just telling her, hey, I'm outside the school. Come out and,
Yeah,
His friend took a lot of convincing.
true. But just like, it's like the whole day is like, oh, look. And it's like, oh, it's supposed to be like, oh, look at all the quirky incidents he gets in. The only quirky incident he gets in is he almost sees his dad in Chicago.
But then he dances on the float and sings Donkashay.
Yeah, sure, but that's like, but the whole thing about if it's supposed to be a comedy is there's supposed to be a little edge to it. Like he's being goofy, sure, but was his dad in the crowd? No. Did he? The only thing that something almost like whoa happened was when his dad almost saw him at the restaurant. After that,
There was one scene when his dad was driving past and they were in the
Okay,
back of a cab. Or no, they were in the back of the cab.
and
There was another time that they were in the car and the dad was in a cab. Like they were in the car and they put on the hat and the sunglasses and
yeah, true.
So he ran into his dad a lot, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
And
then the whole running home scene. The running home scene is good. I like it.
I loved it. It was pretty cool.
And I'm more so annoyed with his sister, too.
That was funny.
It's because it's like, okay, I get it. You're annoyed of your little brother being the.
And then I kind of
baby.
like the Home Alone kind of scene that he had going on.
Oh yeah, the setup. So
Yeah.
like, just leave me alone.
Well, no, not just that. Like his principal tried to come in,
Yeah.
and like all that went on. The dogs attacked him, and that was good.
Well, here's the funny thing, is that, and this is the confusing part. His sister changes sides at the very last second. Like the principal's at the door. She's
Right.
like, no, you can't come in here.
Well, he's been a jerk to her the entire day.
Yeah, it's like I want to bust your brother for skipping school, and she's like, no, you can't. It's like, why? This is like your dream come true. I don't care if he's been a jerk to you. This is what you've been hoping for all day long.
Well, it's kind of like,
like
it's kind of like Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb had the same thing where their sister was always trying to.
Yeah, but if she had help, she would have done it. And then one
No,
episode she does it.
There was one episode she almost did, and she did the same thing that Ferris Bueller's sister did, and just
Gave up.
was like, never mind, no, you know.
Yeah, it's like, which is for me, it's like, okay, that's great, but at the same time, it's like, you're not.
I think it was a jealousy element.
It might have been, but my thing is like, why are you? Why would you write that in when the very next episode is going to be, Mom, Phineas and Ferb are doing this again? It's just like, but the last episode you were like, I love my brothers.
Right.
I don't want to see them in trouble. It's like, but you do. You that's what you live for.
Anyway, back to this list. So some of the things that are coming to Netflix and will be available on the 1st.
Yep.
They've got like Nightmare on Elm Street, Across the Universe. What else do they have? They have like 3 American Tales.
Oh, the Fightful stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good entry. I like that.
Well, there's 3 of them. There's an American Tale, Fightful Goes West, and then an American Tale, The Mystery of the Night Monster.
So yeah,
Because there were 3 of those.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with those additions.
And they're adding the Good Witch season 2.
Okay.
Not 1, just season 2. Scooby-Doo. The 2002 movie, I'm assuming, because it's a 2002.
Oh, God.
I love the live-action movie.
Dude, looking back, it is so bad.
It was so funny,
It was bad because you had, you know who played Fred? Freddie Prinze Jr. Wow, that's a stretch. Nice job.
I love the first movie. And I like the second one, for that matter. I thought they were pretty decent.
You and I have very differing opinions on cinema.
We do.
I hope you understand.
But then they're also adding, like, Tropic Thunder, which I thought was a big flop.
Everyone loved that, though.
Everyone
did.
I wasn't a big fan. Then there's a Netflix original, Chewing Gum, season 2.
Netflix shows suck.
Not all of them.
They suck.
Not all of them.
Most of them suck.
Fuller House is really good.
So you mean the sequel to a show which most people go, why was this a show? And how are these 3 men not gay exactly?
I love Full House. And I love Fuller House.
3 men in San Francisco raise a house full of daughters, and none of them is married.
Anyway. So, Uncle Jesse gets married.
At the very end.
Anyway. Then they're going to add Disney's The BFG.
That was like their only way of saying, no, he's not gay. Sorry. Is that the live action Big Friendly Giant, or is that the anime?
No, the live action.
Okay. Which I'm assuming didn't do good if it's already on Netflix.
I'm excited to see it. No, a lot of I think they struck a deal with Disney because the Jungle Book, the live action's already on there. They've got Pete's Dragon is already on there.
Which makes me think they didn't do well.
No, the Jungle Book did really well.
Did it?
Yeah,
Okay.
It did really well, and I saw it, and it was really good.
I did like it, but whenever I see something go, it's kind of like as soon as...
Like I said, I think they struck a... Because the reason they don't go right away is because they need to strike a deal. You know, they're still in the process of... I think they signed a deal with Disney saying, okay, any movie that we have that comes out between this time and this time...
Gets on Netflix first.
Gets on Netflix first.
Yeah, real quick. Which...
Which I like.
Which I like, but at the same time, it's kind of concerning because it's like when you were a kid and you went to see something in the theater, and then even though it was only in the theater for like half a month, 2 weeks later, you see it in the store on a DVD.
Right.
You're like, oh, that means this didn't do good.
Right.
Or it's like a direct to DVD. You're like, oh, I should avoid this.
Okay, so Netflix is also another Netflix original. Louis C.K. is getting another show.
Good. I know you don't like him, but good. The world needs more Louis C.K.
Well, he had a show originally, and it flopped.
The FX version of Louis?
Yeah.
No, it was on for like 6 seasons.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, Netflix picked it up because they're kind of take the leftovers.
They
Kevin
do,
Hart's What Now is on.
which is why I'm so glad they picked up Trailer Park Boys.
DC's Legend of Tomorrow. Chelsea Season 2, which is a Netflix original. What else is? Bill Nye Saves the World Season 1. Also Netflix original.
That's not gonna be good. I'm sorry.
Mr. Peabody and Sherman, the show, Netflix original, Season 4.
Okay.
I didn't know there was a show. I knew about the movie.
I didn't either.
Liv and Maddie, Season 4, more Disney stuff.
Anything of note, at least? Or is it mostly just like little crap that Netflix is like, we're still getting money, so we don't care?
The rest of it's pretty much just little crap.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything that Dollhouse. Wait, am I good? Because it says AVAIL. Okay? Available?
Yeah.
Because Ferris Bueller's Day Off is on here again. Oh, there it goes. Okay, found it. Leaving. I'm like, good. Yeah.
April Fools.
So, yeah. Nothing good is coming on Netflix. Maybe the BFG. That would be about it.
No, I mean, that is my one thing with Netflix is they're so they want the money so bad that it's like this. You understand? This is not a good, show to put on. It's not a good movie to put on.
Right.
Like it's a 2-bit animated movie that some third-rate studio developed, and they thought was a good competition with Disney. And
well,
it's
and they took off two of my favorite shows off Netflix. It was MASH, which had all the seasons, and Doctor Who. They literally everybody was outraged when they took all the seasons of Doctor Who off Netflix.
All 50 of them or whatever.
Well, they took the first because they rebooted it in about 2000.
Yeah.
And started with the 9th Doctor.
Okay.
And so they were in two separate sections. You had the first 8.
Yep.
And then you had after that you had the from 9 all the way to they're on 11 now. 11 or 12.
Yeah.
12. They're on 12.
And
they took it all off.
Wasn't David Tennant still the most popular of them all?
Oh, I love David Tennant. My favorite. Between David Tennant and Matt Smith, those were the two most popular. Which they were the last two. Peter Capaldi's piece of crap.
Don't like him.
He got Sonic sunglasses instead of a Sonic screwdriver.
Bruh.
Right?
That just sounds dumb. Now the Sonic screwdriver doesn't sound dumb to some extent, but Sonic sunglasses? No.
But they make him look cool.
Oh, great.
But that's something that's been iconic. There's certain things that you don't change about, the Doctor and Doctor Who, and they're changing them.
Yeah. See, when you said Sonic sunglasses, I just imagine him wearing blue sunglasses with
They were black sunglasses.
Little spikes coming out the side like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Ha ha ha.
Sonic.
No, but they were black sunglasses. He pressed he went like this on his glasses and pressed down on the temple, and it made the noise that the Sonic screwdriver made.
Okay.
It was dumb.
It was dumb.
It was dumb. I lost all respect for that version of the Doctor.
I'm glad Netflix takes up certain series. Like I said, I love the Trailer Park Boys.
Right.
I think it's hilarious. A lot of people hate the Trailer Park Boys, but I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't like them.
If you watch the first, because originally there was only 8 seasons, I think.
Right.
Of them, and and the guys that act in them were the producers, right? They only had the network backing, and they were able to do most of the stuff themselves.
Right.
Right. But when Netflix got a hold of it, it changed it a lot. Because obviously the widespread gap between time that was on air, it changed from like a analog signal to just high definition camera work and stuff like that.
Right.
Which made it was like, okay, it's like, I that's annoying, but it's whatever. It happens. But a lot of the writing and stuff kind of feels a little bit more awkward too, because I think Netflix just gets their claws into something,
Right.
and they're like, no, we want to go this way, and like if you notice what they attach themselves to, like, did you see what happened to Amy Schumer?
No.
So Netflix, if no one has seen it at all, Netflix has been doing a whole lot of for sponsoring stand-up comedians.
Right.
Like they have like Dave Chappelle stuff, the one
Gabriel Iglesias.
So they're doing a whole lot of Netflix specials, and it's become like the HBO or Comedy Central special, like Night with the new Amy Schumer one got hanged.
Did it really?
1 star.
Man.
1 star out of 5. And then Dave Chappelle, who hasn't done a special in years, who has been basically out of the public eye except for doing a few shows every once in a while,
Right.
came back. He has 5. He got a 5-star. He's just nailed it out of the park. So it's kind of iffy. I mean, I'm iffy with Netflix because of how much they put into one thing versus how much they put into another. And it's like,
well, it's kind of like Adam Sandler's coming out with some movies for Netflix. The
Stop.
Ridiculous Six was, I mean, it was funny, but it was just bad.
the man needs to stop.
I don't know. I thought
Just-
Grown Ups was pretty good. I haven't seen Grown Ups 2 yet.
It was Grown Ups again.
Was it?
It was Grown Ups Part 2.
But Grown Ups was so funny. I could watch it
It
again.
was funny.
It was great.
I liked it, but mostly because Chris Rock. Chris Rock was funny because it's Chris Rock. My issue with Adam Sandler is always the same thing. Oh, hey, David Spade, Kevin James. What's the third guy's name? The black-haired guy.
Oh, I don't even remember.
I don't see exactly.
He's the one that goes, "You can do
Yeah,
it."
you can do it. Do you three want to be in another acting role that you really don't deserve too well?
See,
Yeah, sure.
what it is, and I've talked about this before, it's if you hire Adam Sandler, you don't hire Adam Sandler. You give them your idea,
Yeah.
and he has the director, the cast, the crew.
Because usually he is the director, he is the producer, he is all these things,
All right.
as well as an actor. And it's like, that's great that you're that smart and you can do all those things at once, but your craft suffers because you can't make new jokes.
Right.
You can't write. I'm saying nothing in the world of comedy. There's not much that's original now.
Right.
It's a lot of it. Everyone's like, you're stealing jokes or you're stealing material. No, it's because there's so many people making jokes about stuff that it's going to overlap.
It's kind of
It's
like
like-
music. All these
Yeah.
people are suing each other for copyright infringement.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's only so many notes.
Yeah. Or like if you go onto YouTube, there's a comedy group that does something called a 4-chord song, right?
I've seen that.
The Axis of Awesome or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you watch it, and you'll realize they're really in pop music, there are 4 chords you need to play
Yes.
in a song to make it popular. And you know why? It's because they're all major chords. None of them, there's no minor. And if there's
Right.
a minor chord, it's random. It's
Right.
thrown in there randomly to make. Oh.